You are an entrepreneur, or you want to be. Finding success is not easy. That's why you want to listen to and take advice from someone who's been there. This is the #Attitudeshield podcast. No more hype, no more BS, no blah, blah, blah. We get right to it. To the point guidance on how to change the way you think and grab the life you've always wanted. This is the #Attitudeshield podcast. And now your host, a true serial entrepreneur, having owned bars, car lots, restaurants, marketing companies. He's done it all. Here's your host, Davidlparker.
That's right. I'm Davidlparker, and I'm your Attitudeshield mentor. And I got my copy. And I got a lot of attitude, and I got a lot of things to talk about. What an interesting title of a show. Got to put on my glasses. You're never going to see my notes, right? What an interesting title. The power is in FU. The power is in the FU. Now, part of you probably saying, wait a minute, dude. Is this a joke? How in the heck is the power in the letters FU? Believe it or not, there is more power behind words that start with F and U than you can imagine. But the one we're going to get to at about 15 minutes, maybe 12 minutes into the show, the FU of that part is like the massive gun show of the mental game, the massive gun show of the entrepreneur spirit. I want to talk about some other ones. I want to talk about how about we start off with a completely known word. Everybody knows the word Uber. So there's a U, right? Have you ever thought about being famously Uber? What? Right. Uber denotes something that's superior. It's not a cab company. Well, okay, it's not just a cab company. It's not just a rideshare company. It's a company, it denotes something profound, something amazing, something extraordinary. So could you become fanatically Uber? Could you become factual ultimate? Could you become, faithfully unadulterated? There is a lot of power. Now we talk about there's power in words, there's power in the mindset, there's power in what we say to ourselves. One of the things that you can do to train yourself on how to talk to yourself, which I think is the most important thing that we can talk about by a long shot, is learning how to take a couple letters, A, E, B, T, and look up words and put them together. Now I have lists of words up here. My notes are, what is FU? What is a fair, unbounded, unblemished focus? Now I have FUUF. Yes, right now you're probably going, I don't understand what he's doing. I'm using words to find the power in them to drive what I'm talking about to the ultimate power of FU. I promise when we get to the FU in a few minutes, you're going to be like, that is not what I thought he was talking about. How about you be faithfully unaffected? How about you be fabulously unafraid? How about you be fantastically unbiased? Wait, what? Right. Come up with power, Mr. Entrepreneur, Mrs. Entrepreneur, the entrepreneur that is dying inside because they're foundationally upset, right? There's some negative FUs. But how about the fanatically unstoppable? What about those? What about what you need to follow through with, right? What about the fast growing and unburdened? How about the fast paced unconditional? How about the flawless unconfined? How about the favorable uncommon? How about being fearless and uncorrupted? The power of FU is incredible. Now, a lot of people sit around, when I say FU, they think of, right, that FU. I'm sorry, around the 12-minute mark, you're not going to get that one. We're not going to hold our hands up and tell everybody to read between the lines. And there's a universal sign of number one. Well, maybe you say that to your fear. Maybe you say that to the naysayers. Maybe you say that to the things that try to get in your way. Maybe you say that to the media. You know, have you ever watched the movie The Tail Wags the Dog? I swear that's what's going on in our media right now. I swear it is. I swear with all the propaganda, I don't understand. You know what? I really don't understand. Here's a bunny trail. Here's what I understand. If you're reporting news, which now isn't news, it's opinion, and you're wrong, why do you still have a job? You know what I mean? Only those of us who are working our butts off, we have to be the feisty, undefiable self-entrepreneur. We have to be, how about a combination of, oh, look at that. Those are outstanding words. Feisty, unblemished. The fireball of understanding. The flamboyant, undisputed. The flavorful, unequaled. The flawlessly unfading. The flourishing, unfettered. How about a fluently unforgettable? Focused, ungrudging. The foolproof, unharmed. The forcefully unhampered. The forever unimpaired. The formally unique. How about the fortified universal? How about the fortunate unlimited? How about the foundational unobjectable? How about the frankly unopposed? Why don't we become freely unprecedented? How about frisky unquestionable? How about fruitfully unrelenting? What if you became full-blooded unrivaled? How about fundamentally unscathed? How about funny unself-conscious? How about the fulfillment of the unstoppable? How about the fruition of the untiring? How about the frankly unstoppable again? Now, listen, I just rattled on a ton of FUs, a ton. Matter of fact, I probably gave you, I don't know, 40 FUs. Now, one of my least favorite and most powerful is the one that you tell your naysayers. It's the one you tell people that don't believe in you, the ones that should be given the big FU, the ones that should be kicked out of your life, driven out of your inner circle, and made to go away. Those are the most important. You know what? Here we go. We're at 7 minutes, and I've decided it's time to truly talk about the most important FU that there is, and that is where the fortune is, where your success is hiding from you. And I mean, it's hiding from you. It is hiding from you in a way that is almost unfathomable. Follow up. Most people today, most serial entrepreneurs, most salespeople, most people that offer a product, a service, something that takes the human touch, suck at FU. They suck at the follow-up. So when they suck at the follow-up, they're telling their customers FU. Wait, what? That's right. When you suck at follow-up, you're telling somebody FU. As a matter of fact, here's something funny. Somebody sent me a message on Facebook, and it said, "Hey, rock star, what are you up to nowadays?" And I told them. Now they're asking me a question. They're asking me a question because they want to start a conversation. Now, one of the ways you do conversations on Facebook when you have contacts, I call it the 3 Re's. You have to reconnect, reconnect a friendship, reconnect. How did you get together? Do it again. You have to re-erect that connection, and then you can redirect it into a conversation. See, everybody's DMing each other and all their opportunities. Hey, look at my way of making money selling coins. Hey, look at my way of collecting stamps. Hey, look at my Scentsy oils. Hey, look at my whatever, which is fine. Whatever product you want to supply, whatever product you want to represent, you go for it. But if you ain't got the FU, you're going to get the FU. What does he mean? Listen, the fortune is in the follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-up. If you're not following up properly, right, then you're going to die. Right? Sometimes, listen, I understand that sometimes growth requires new company, new locations, new mindset, new product, new situations, new environments, new everything. But if you take the old you, the old work habit that you have, the old way of doing things, your old FU, and you don't change it into a new FU, you're going to end up right where you are now. I don't care if you change. As a matter of fact, I know you will. Right? I know you're going to change. You're going to have to change. We go through changes together. We go through changes all the time. Right? We've learned to speak to ourselves. What's the most powerful words that we can speak? I am are the most powerful words we can speak. I am good at the FU. I am great at this. I am successful. I am motivated. I am whatever you want to be. You keep saying I am because you're speaking to yourself. You're going to become that. But if you don't master the follow-up, look, I don't care if your follow-up is to use a notebook. I have notebooks right here. I have notes right here. Pens right here. I'm ready to do my follow-up. Follow-up, FU, is exactly the most powerful words in business. If you don't take care of your customers, you get an FU. If you do take care of your customers, it's because you have a great FU. If coffee's great, you start off your morning telling people less FU. But if you don't have a follow-up, you don't know where you're going from here to there, right? You're never going to get there. Listen, a stone, a habit, a situation is never broken by the last stroke of the hammer. Now, that doesn't mean that the first stroke of a hammer is useless. And it doesn't mean the strokes in the middle are a waste of time. What it means is success is a result of continuous and persistent, never-ending effort. But if you don't master FU, then don't pick up the hammer. Don't do it. If you don't master the follow-up, look, like I said, I don't care if you use a notebook, but I highly recommend a CRM, a customer relationship management tool. If you're not using a CRM, what are you using? I don't know. An Excel spreadsheet, that's fine. A notebook, that's fine. Use something that tells you that you're going to follow up with somebody tomorrow. You're going to follow up with them and make it look. I got a note right here. Right here on my keyboard, follow up with Randy and last name of what we're following up about. Why? Because the FU is fortunately unimaginably powerful. How strong is your FU? Most people suck. Most self-made entrepreneurs are masters at the follow up. A lot of people say the riches are in the niches. And I say the fortune is in the follow-up. The fantastic, unquestionable lifestyle is in the FU. Let me give you examples of my own life. I have been trying to do some projects in my house. All but one of the contractors, and we're talking 5 that I can think of. I know it's more, but 5 that I can think of have terrible FU. So I get the FU. And when I get the FU, they get it back. A guy, I'm talking to him Friday. We're going to redo our fireplace in River Rock, change the look of it. You know, we're remodeling inside of our house. Our house is 60 years old here in the Black Hills. Needs a little bit of a facelift. Ready for our close-up, Mr. DeVille, right? We're doing some facelifting. We're doing some remodeling. Why? Because we want to. But the contractors are giving us a lack of FU, which means they're giving me the FU. Now, see how that can be a tongue twister, can it? So what do I do about it? I end up doing it myself. We're talking a lot of money. It depends on who you are. You know, the first bid I had to redo our fireplace was $7,500 in like 4 days. Now I priced out the materials. It's about $1,000. So that's $6,000 in labor or profit or whatever. That's not worth a follow-up. Must be nice to be a contractor. We want to put an addition on our house. It's a $200,000 to $250,000 project. Haven't heard from the contractor that said they were doing me plans, drawing up plans so I can give it to the bank so the bank could put together the home equity loan and home improvement loan. Haven't heard from them. I got the big FU because they have no FU. Now, the guy that's supposed to do the fireplace, we literally talked on Friday. And he said, hey, I'm not in my office. Let me text you over the bid and let me know when you want to get started. That was Friday morning at about 9:30. Well, it's what recording this is 5 a.m. Monday. So we won't even count when that is. But we're talking all day Friday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. We're 3 days of a failed FU. We're 3 days. Now, when I first wrote the guy a check to draw me some plans, he's one of 2 people I've actually written a check to draw plans for the addition on our home. When I first wrote in that check, that was January. Now, I don't know, I'm checking my watch. We're a couple of days from April. That we're looking at 3 months of no FU. I actually went to a local employee-owned hardware store in February and paid for them to draw me up plans. And they came out and saw the house, which is awesome. Again, we're going on April. The FU is so important to follow up. There's probably double. If you sell something and you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to build your business, you can double or triple your business by having proper follow-up. Proper. Executive 3 team building. Give me 3 people on any idea and take over the world. And one of the key focuses that we're going to do with those 3 people is we're going to follow up. We're going to have some of the most powerful FU you ever saw, because without it, you get FU'd. The power of Fu. Your Kung Fu is not strong. You know what? Your follow-up sucks. You know, I hear all the time, people talk to me all the time about multi-level marketing and network marketing. They talk to me about affiliate marketing. They talk to me about these biz ops and the people of these biz ops, which is fantastic. You know, any opportunity, if you have a couple of things, self-development. If your self-development isn't a thumbs up, then you might as well put these 3 fingers out and tell people to read between the lines, because you haven't got any. If you're going to be a self-employed serial entrepreneur, you have to be looking long-term, not I go sponsor 6 people, make $1 million. It's not the way it works. But even in the MLM, you know, they succeed at a terrible rate. Terrible. Not that their rates are that much worse than any other business opportunity, but why? Because they don't have any FU. They don't have a follow-up. They suck at it. They meet somebody at a home show. They meet somebody at a gas station. I'm not in Colorado. They meet somebody at a gas station, whatever. They meet a human being in a natural part of their life. They have a conversation, and they have a reason to talk to that person later, and they do not follow up. You know, most people are afraid to talk to new potential clients, not because of the initial conversation. That's the big FU. They're afraid of the follow-up. They have no confidence in what they're going to do. No confidence. I don't think I can do it. Well, they're right. I said it. If you don't believe you can do something, you are 1,000% right. You are so right that it's almost scary how right you are. If you have no confidence, no belief, if you say to yourself, I don't think I can do something, I promise you, you're right. You can't. And that way you're giving you the wrong side of FU. When you're feeling frustrated, when life is tough, what are you saying to yourself? What is your follow-up to your situation? What is your driving force that moves you forward? What is your FU to your bad attitude? What is your follow-up? How do you move forward? What do you say to yourself? How do you do it? What is your plan? Maybe we start there. Start with a plan on how you talk to you when you're having a bad day. or something doesn't go your way, or you feel frustrated because a situation just seems untenable. Ooh, there's a good word. Freakily untenable. Here's a good FU. And we spend our day working on our follow-up, working on our fortune undiscovered, because that is waiting for you. There is a fortune that is undiscovered within you. There is a fantastic, unaltered, untouched power that you have within yourself, that if you master the ability to follow up, you master the ability to give the greatest FU to your customers, the greatest there ever was. Another quick example before I run up the show. I wanted a Yukon or a Tahoe, an LT. LTZ would work. I wanted one. I went to 2 different dealerships looking for one. I bought from the guy who followed up. I bought from the guy who followed up. I bought from the guy who gave the best FU. And then when I went and canceled some stuff at the other dealership where I bought from before, and the salesman saw me, the one I didn't buy from, saw that Yukon sitting there and said, "Oh man, I've been looking for one of those for you, dude. I just haven't been able to blah, 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 blah." I said, "That's because your follow-up is not strong. And because it's not strong, I guess you got the big FU." Follow up, follow up, follow up. That's the cure to the big FU from your customers. The bigger FU brings them back. So go ahead, have a nice FU day.
You've been listening to the #Attitude podcast. Davidlparker is a serial entrepreneur. Having owned bars, car lots, restaurants, marketing companies, he's already gone through the ups and downs. And his passion is to point guidance on how to change the way you think to live the life you've always wanted. We pride ourselves on information you can use between 20 and 30 minutes. We'll be back soon. David is an active and inspiring speaker. Reach out now to book him. Hit the website at attitudeshield.com or email to attitudeshieldmentor@gmail.com. See you next time on the #Attitude Shield podcast.